right? We've all agreed the only path forward for OpenAI is a for-profit. Sam, Ilya, Greg, Elon, we all agreed on this. We all said, this is what we got to do. This is literally the thing for the mission. And now you're in this crazy negotiation, right? Elon's like, you need majority equity, you need to be CEO, you need full control. And we got so close. It's like, okay, fine. Okay, we're not going to be equal partners. You need this massive amount of equity. If that's what you say you need, like, we would like you to be involved. We can get there. Okay, fine. You know, Sam will be CEO, Elon will be CEO. He needs it so everyone knows he's in charge. Fine. But absolute control over OpenAI. Even if you say, well, I'll dilute down, I'll give it up in the future. And you're like, what is our mission? Like, do we really believe in our mission? Do we really care about this picture of, we want this technology to benefit everyone, and there shouldn't be one person in charge of the whole future? Doesn't matter who that person is. Like, that was the breaking point. That was the thing that caused us to say no.
Sam Altman finally revealed the story they've kept quiet for 10 years. I'm going to show you exactly what happened and what it means for your business right now. That clip right there is the story they've kept quiet for almost a decade. One person demanded absolute control over OpenAI, control over AGI, control over the entire future of this technology, and they said no. By the end of this video, you'll know exactly what happened, why it matters, and what the next 12 months look like for your business. If you want to stay ahead of the curve with 3 deep dive AI breakdowns every week, hit subscribe. July 2015, Greg Brockman recalls the exact moment OpenAI was born.
In many ways, the very first moment of OpenAI was right after this dinner that we did in July of 2015. And Sam and I were driving back to the city together. And we looked at each other and we were like, we have to do this, right? There'd been all this conversation of, is it too late to start a lab that could go after AGI and have a positive impact?
That seems so ridiculous now that we were so worried about that.
Yeah.
But it was too late.
Yeah.
You missed it. You missed it.
I remember feeling like that when you guys started, though.
Yeah.
I was like, no.
DeFine's going to run away with
Yeah.
this, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah. And, you know, the conclusion from dinner was it wasn't obviously impossible. And I think both of us just felt like, okay, this is just so important. We just have to do it.
In 2015, the people who built the dominant AI company on Earth thought they might be too late. The window always looks closed until someone walks through it. Their test wasn't, can we win? It was, is it obviously impossible? If the answer is no, you move. That filter applies to every AI decision you're sitting on right now. They moved, but they didn't move alone, and the way they built the co-founder relationship that held through everything that came next is worth understanding.
We are just in constant contact, that 5 calls a day, 2 minutes, 5 minutes each. That kind of spirit remains. Like, I think we're just in constant sync, and we don't always agree on everything, right? It's not like we come at the world from exactly the same point of view, but that's why we're so strong together, right? Is that I think we have very complementary approaches. That Sam will say, here's an idea. I'll think about, well, maybe we could do this other way, or what about if we approached it with this angle, or how does this relate to this other thing that we're thinking about? And one thing I deeply appreciate about Sam is that I think he always sees these connections between different ideas, or just like keeps focused on, here's the big picture that we need to get to. And then together we figure out, well, how do we actually do it?
I think one of the things that Greg has done the best, which is not my instinct, is really just push to focus on the most important thing in his own work and also in what the company's going to do. So there have been times where I have wanted to do more things, and Greg has just said, you know, is this the most important thing? Let's really just do this. Let's get the company focused. And we've diverged on that, and that's been like a very helpful spirit of Greg's throughout the company. 5
calls a day, 2 minutes each. That's their operating system. No quarterly strategy sessions, no annual reviews, constant low latency sync, and they don't always agree. Greg pushes back on scope. Sam pushes up on ambition. Neither dominates. The most dangerous thing in a leadership team isn't disagreement, is the absence of a feedback loop fast enough to catch drift before it becomes damage. If you're talking to your co-founder once a week for an hour, You're already behind the pace the market is moving. Sam had one other instinct that Greg pushed back on constantly, and it turned out to be the most important competitive decision OpenAI ever made.
And sometimes I feel like, okay, I kind of logically know that yes, like we're moving to this compute powered economy, and yes, that demand is always going to outstrip supply, but like we've got all this like hard work to do, and we already have all these big computers and we're operationalizing them, and you still have all of this like just physical infrastructure to build, and you feel already swamped in it. And Sam is like, no, we need even more. And I think that actually has been a very important thing to really not, like sometimes it's easy to lose sight of the high order bit of just the fact of this is going to be so important for not just the next 6 months, but this is what's important for the next 2 years, the next 5 years, 10 years. And I think that you need this balance of sometimes swimming in the details, but you can't be swamped in the details.
When everyone was operationalizing the existing compute infrastructure, feeling swamped, Sam kept asking for more. He maintained focus on the high order bit. We are moving to a compute-powered economy. Demand will always outstrip supply. The business translation is direct. If you're currently in AI adoption mode, feeling overwhelmed by what you've already deployed, the leaders in your space are already asking for the next wave. The founders who win the next 18 months won't be the ones who got comfortable with wave 1. All of that explains how OpenAI became dominant. What it doesn't explain is the moment it nearly didn't. I told you at the start, there was a story they'd never told publicly. Here it is.
Right? We've all agreed the only path forward for OpenAI is a for-profit. Sam, Ilya, Greg, Elon, we all agreed on this. We all said this is what we got to do. This is literally the thing for the mission. And now you're in this crazy negotiation, right? Elon's like, you need majority equity. You need to be CEO. You need full control. And we got so close. It's like, okay, fine. Okay, we're not going to be equal partners. You need this massive amount of equity. If that's what you say you need, like, we would like you to be involved. We can get there. Okay, fine. Sam will be CEO, Elon will be CEO. He needs it so everyone knows he's in charge. Fine. But absolute control over OpenAI. Even if you say, well, I'll dilute down, I'll give it up in the future. And you're like, what is our mission? Like, do we really believe in our mission? Do we really care about this picture of we want this technology to benefit everyone, and there shouldn't be one person in charge of the whole future? Doesn't matter who that person is. Like, that was the breaking point. That was the thing that caused us to say no.
For years, OpenAI let the other side tell the story. They stayed quiet through the splits, the lawsuits, the public attacks. This is the first time they've told their version, and they had to because they're now in court. What stopped them handing Elon the keys wasn't personal, it was mission. They had a clear, tested answer to the question, what are we actually building this for? When a deal conflicts with that answer, no matter how powerful the other party, no matter how many resources they bring, the answer wins. That is the most underrated founder skill, not fundraising, not product, not distribution, mission clarity under pressure. If you don't have a version of that answer for your own company, this is the moment to write it down. That's the story behind how they protected it. Now, the question most founders are actually asking, what does all of this mean for what's coming next?
We had a picture in 2017, 2018, the way we would build AGI was through a competitive multi-agent simulation. Like, imagine an island of like 1,000 agents that all are in a battle to survive and replicate. And you could see that if you put a ton of compute into it, maybe it would build something very smart. But that smart thing, that would not be connected to human values at all. You'd have to have a separate step of figuring out, how do you even talk to this thing, right? It didn't grow up at all in the real world, doesn't have any concept of language, doesn't have any connection to our reality. It's just smart and powerful. That's a very scary system, right? You start from a place of trying to think about how can you possibly align it. But instead we have this language model route, which is rooted in our values, which is rooted in understanding humans. And we have chain of thought that actually you can monitor, that actually if you approach things right in a technical sense, you have a path to make that be faithful. So it really represents what is truly motivating the AI. And you just realize we have a totally different technological path to get to the outcome we're talking about. And it's a much more optimistic one. And so I think that there was some technical learnings we had to have for what is this technology truly going to be? How will it be created? What are the ways in which you make it useful? And that is something I think we could not have appreciated, but we do today.
The original fear, an AGI that emerges from pure competitive simulation with no connection to human values, is not the path we're on. Sam's honest answer, we didn't know that in 2017. We learned it. The language model route is built on human language, human reasoning, human values. It's not perfectly safe, but it's dramatically more legible and controllable than the alternative. For founders, stop making AI decisions based on a threat model that's no longer the one being built. The tools you're adopting right now are the most human-aligned AI systems that have ever existed. That doesn't mean you don't need to think carefully about how you deploy them. It means the conversation is different from the existential one the media keeps running. In the short term, the window is open. New models are coming fast, and the gap between AI adopters and non-adopters is widening right now. In the medium term, we'll see the productivity dividend. Just like Steam and the internet, AI is a general-purpose technology, and that diffusion curve is going to play out. The question for your business isn't whether AI will change everything. It already is. The question is, what are you building in the gap? 10 years. A near miss with one person controlling all of it. A co-founder dynamic that runs on 5 2-minute calls a day, a compute bet nobody else was willing to make, and a technology path that turned out to be far more optimistic than anyone predicted in 2017. Sam's summary at the end of this interview: new models, really good new models, coming soon. If you're not already repositioning around what that means for your team, your workflows, and your competitive position, the window is still open. Thanks for watching. If you want to stay ahead of the curve with more AI business breakdowns, hit subscribe. See you in the next one.